then also, why is Congress taking off in September and October of 2016? Also, several other things we're going to take a look at today. So let's get started. So the first thing that I wanted to take a look at today was this guy named Dane Winnington. He is starting a chemtrail lawsuit in Canada, and he's talking to this guy, Craig Hunter. Now, when I show a YouTube channel with an interview or something like that, I am, one, promoting Greg Hunter's site, but on the other hand, it doesn't mean I completely agree with Greg Hunter, okay? But I'm going to show this interview because it's very interesting. So let's pick up on the first thing that Dane says that I think is critically important to our work.
Have no First Amendment protection, none. They're not free to speak out anyway. Now,
these are the scientists who are not free to speak out.
There's a federal gag order. I want all your listeners to consider that. There's a federal gag order on all National Weather Service and all NOAA employees. I mean, how much more obvious is this situation? They're trying to plug leaks in the ship. And we have environmental scientists being fired all over. Canada's let go a huge number of their scientists. Australia has just fired 450 of their frontline environmental scientists. Why? Because they want to cover up what's happening in any way they can. And again, they're simply trying to...
So just that first clip was Dane talking about all these environmental scientists being fired, which is interesting and disturbing. But let's go a little bit further into the clip here, and I want to point out one other thing that we're going to talk about a little bit more detail. So it's at 9:42. Now listen to this.
Unimaginably intense UV radiation, which is not being talked about. It's being hidden. And again, people simply need to start touching car surfaces, feel how hot the sun feels on their skin, look at trees, how they're being singed and the bark's being burned off the south side. We have people asleep at the wheel, Greg. They're completely asleep at the wheel right now, and we're trying desperately to wake them up.
So you all feel like you're alone. You all feel like you're strange. Here's Dane out there being an activist. Listen to what he's saying. He's saying that scientists have been fired, environmental scientists have been fired, NOAA gag orders, all the things that we've been talking about. So when people ask us why scientists aren't saying anything, that's why they're not saying anything, okay? So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. All right, let's go on to the next thing here. So now the next thing, and this was pointed out to me by a subscriber, that we had some unusual scheduling in the Congress. So let's just kind of take a look and see what's going on in the Congress right now. What we've got, let's see here. July, August looks pretty normal. September looks pretty normal. We've got a huge huge in-session time during August. For some reason, this isn't working very well. Let me see if I can get this thing to cooperate a little bit better. You know, it's so unusual for me to have computer problems, you guys, right? So here's June. And here's what I wanted to point out. I want to get to the September, October. So we've got DC, they're just working like crazy in September, like we would expect them to do. But then all of a sudden in October, look at this. Right in the middle of the 114th Congress in October, they're basically taking the month of October off. That's what I'm trying to point out here. And obviously this PDF doesn't want you to see that, but here it is. There's September. Oh, darn it, man. There's October. See, so they're gone all of the month of October in 2016, you guys. It's kind of a suspicious thing. Just wanted to point that out. Not normal. Now, the next thing I want to look at is the near-Earth approaches. And again, we're having that unusual everything in the 2016 being able to be seen like right around the corner, right? But the one that I wanted to take you to today, though, is the one that was pointed out to me, was this 2016 FE1. This one is suspicious because on April 25th, and the reason it's suspicious is because it's disappearing off different charts and it's hard to get information on. So it comes on and off. But look at the number of observations. 245 observations, and they can only get it at condition code 7, which means that it's not very accurate. Keep an eye on this one, guys. I think this one is one that we got to take a look at. 2016 FE1. Everybody keep an eye on that one. The next thing is good news for everybody. This is me testing my second rig for the satellite, and yesterday, or for the balloon launch. And here's the time lapse I got from yesterday. It's not too dissimilar to what we saw before, But I just wanted to walk you through it here real quick. First of all, you'll notice the big plume is still very, very visible. And watch the right side as this progresses. This is time-lapse photography from yesterday. This is unusual. It's taking a different shape now. It's not that clean, shape that we saw before. And watch what comes down from the left. Now, if you guys want to learn how to do stop motion or time-lapse photography with really cheap equipment, just we can have a dialogue about it, and I'll happy to help you. But check it out, man. We've got some kind of a huge thing over here, and this object coming down. Again, this is done in my backyard, man. Not that hard to get images anymore. Now this next one, same thing. In the morning, looking at the same thing again. And this one, I'm actually getting this thing here, which is what I think is projecting this orb. So the camera's ready, and guess what else is ready? I'm ready to go out and do another launch, hopefully today. So let's take a look at some other stuff. And this is from Minnesota. Check it out. This is from 2 days ago. Guy's doing the sun test, and you can see that object does not disappear when he puts his thumb in front of the main light. So there's our 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock position thing that Wayne Stiegler was getting the other day. The next video that I'd like to show you is I want to show it because it's funny, mostly. It's one of our subscribers that's just listen. I think you'll get why I like it so much. Sorry for the slow delay between the segments here. I just have a lot of stuff to share today. Come on, you bugger. Here we go. So listen to this. This is fun. Same guy that did the recording with the finger. Oh, same one. Sorry about that. Anyway, moving on to the next thing, let's go into the Roy segment. So Roy sent me in his obligatory photographs off the Skycam network. And so what I'd like to do today is just go ahead and run you through a couple of those images. So let's start with this. And again, he's got them all labeled, so I'll just kind of walk through them. I don't need to take much time on it because I think it's stuff a lot of people have seen, but look at the thoroughness of Roy's work. Unbelievable stuff. It's been really hard to make this video, you guys. I just want you to know that. This is from Sarthe, France. Jamesville, New York, where we see it a lot. Moonglow Observatory is where we see it very clearly right now, if you're looking at the all Skycam networks. Unbelievable stuff. And again, just stop it if you want to read any of this stuff. I'm just honoring Roy by showing us stuff that he worked so hard on so that you guys can all share it and see it too. Good job, Roy. I'm not going to read slides to you guys if that's okay. So that's the Roy segment for today. All from the Skycam network in the last couple of days. Impressive work, Roy. Thank you very much, again, for all your help. The next thing I want to take a look at is all the photographs. We've got a lot of stuff to go through today, so let's get started on that. Sub photos. This is a night shot with a lens flare. This is a close-up of one of the objects that we've been seeing, and again, it's from this picture. So I called it the lens flare right away, but what I meant to say was here's an object, and then when you took a close-up, it looks like that. Here's our Skycam showing the regular stuff from Australia. Here's a straight on shot of the sun and the halo. Here's in Paddington a couple of days ago, we were getting plasma connections to the Earth that were showing up on the camera. Here's a really strange flare or whatever's going on there with a planetary object in the back of the sun. This again is off a web camera in Australia. Seen a lot. You can see it really clearly from Brazil and Australia. Here's just some weird Soho Lascaux imagery, like where do we get a big, pill, flying through space? I don't know. Lots of sun activity lately. Virginia's still seeing the black objects. Look at these photographs, you guys. Now here's something that's interesting. We've been catching this the last couple of days. We've got another photo from today I'll show you too, but there's this really distinct beam coming off the sun from time to time, and I'm wondering if it's not trying to make electrical connection with something else out there. Oh my, this was a really intense photograph. If real, I haven't been able to confirm if it's not photoshopped or not. That is an amazing image of a planet. Now here's some really good work. This is from 4.3 where a person actually went in and like said, "Ooh, that looks weird," and then did a blow up, and there's our debris field in the winged planet. Sharon, my good friend, has been taking lots of pictures. This is just to show many things going on in the sky, but take a close look at Sharon's stuff because you never know what you're going to find. We're going to be talking to a guy named Samuel Hoffman here pretty soon. That was one of his slides, so I'm going to save that for his session. This is from recent, airplane travel. Now here's the 13th. We're still getting that same beam. It looks a little bit longer. Here's a huge orb. Check this out, man. On the horizon in Aklaton, Alaska. And it's not some kind of flare or anything like that. It's really an orb in the sky. Here's the halo again from Canada, from my good friend Julie. And then we got the green thing expressing itself over here. Here are coordinates that we wanted to look at. Basically, this guy set up this little like home experiment in trying to get the magnetic north. And here's his observations. So take a look at his observations. But if you want to try to duplicate his observations, I will have those instructions for you here in the instructions below. Here's some more interesting stuff going on in the sky. Here's dark objects showing up over the mountain. Here's an extremely vivid picture of the green planet or orb that we've been seeing. This is that cluster that we've been seeing lately. I've been seeing it with my infrared especially, but somebody sent me a photograph of this. Go check out Mr. BBB again. He actually does a very interesting take on this. He says that this call it star cluster is relatively new and it's showing up all over the place. So take a look. Really, man? So, evidence pouring in from all over the world, guys. In this one, I wanted to show you up in here. Look at this. Watch this little orb in the side on the ISS from yesterday. It's not a lens flare because lens flares don't get shadows on them, do they now? Here's the like a orb here and all kinds of crazy stuff going on in this picture. Now, this one I wanted to be careful to show because people in Brazil are thinking that this thing right here might be a planet. It's not a planet. It's a blob on the lens for the Brazil All Skycam. They got to clean that off, but you're still getting the dot. And here's that experiment. Just stop it, go through, look at it, and try it out for yourself. And here are the instructions. So just stop it, go through, and if you want to build your own magnetic tester, that's how to do it. Wow, man. And the pictures just get more and more intense. I don't have to go to any of the obscure all sky cams anymore to see it. I can get pictures pretty much from anybody, anytime. I don't know why it's doing that. Here we've got the halo from Pennsylvania today. So the halo is a permanent fixture in the sky. Here's an ISS image that shows the pink Earth. And then what the hell is this thing over here? Every time we see this pink Earth thing, we also see this little object show up over here. I wonder if it's part of the spacecraft. Wow. And then here's a person that's speculating that there's an orb visible in the SOHO photographs. Now this you don't see very clearly, but this is the moon here, just the bottom part of the moon. And then this was at night, this big red orb that this guy tried to photograph with his camera. So again, guys, I just wanted to catch up with everybody today. Last point I'll make though, and it goes back to the UV radiation. This is what the UV radiation looks like at the equator now, guys. Check this out, man. I don't know if that's normal or not to have such intense UV rays, but if we're listening to Dana, we may be having a problem in that. So with all that shared, guys, I just want you to know that I pray for you every day. Pray for me, please. It's been very rough to make videos for me lately, and I really appreciate your prayers and support. And just remember, Jesus is waiting for you. He's standing at the door. All you got to do is open it, man. And I don't care. You can be a Hindu, Jew, whatever you want to be. But right now, just go to Jesus and check him out and talk to him because he's got some words for you. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.